Everyone, this is Dr. Katherine Kelly, and I want to bring you a little more information about presence today. This month, I'm really focusing on this as a theme to help people really get into the moment, really kind of get saturated with what they're doing in a good way, not so much in a bad way. And, over and over again, I talk about the difference between getting absorbed in something and stepping back to observe something. And it's that art of observing something that really helps you stay in that present minded mode, that present essence, that present energy. And that is really the art of soul-based living right there, is being able to be present at any given moment so you can make a decision based on what your soul needs versus what we think we should do or have to do or what the expectations are outside of us. And I think it's really important for soul-based living to really understand what this presence thing is all about. So I want to give you an example, and I'm going to bring you back about a year ago to what was going on for me. So many of you who follow what I write about or do videos about, kind of know that I talk about my own personal life and what's going on with me as I process and as I'm growing and learning and evolving in my own way. And right about this time last year, I was processing so much that I was present all the time. I had no choice but to be in the present moment because I was so uncomfortable. And that discomfort is very good teacher. That discomfort is a very good part of what is trying to lasso our attention and get us to really be present and focus. And with soul-based living, you have to be present and stay focused in order to evolve in a conscious way. So about a year ago, I was really processing a lot right before I went on my Grand Canyon trip to basically when I was rafting the Grand Canyon. I called it my birth canal because it just felt like it was going to be this major rebirth experience. And, I had never camped before. I'm not a good swimmer. I don't really like to be with people that I don't know for that long of a period of time. But I really had to immerse myself into the experience in order to get out of it what I needed to. So I had to stay very present throughout. And there's nothing like being on a raft, going down the Grand Canyon through some major rapids, getting splashed every second to stay very present because you are holding on for dear life, literally. So you have to hold on in order to go through and you have to be very present. And there were times when, you had to be even more present than others. So I want to kind of link all of this with this soul-based living piece because the art of soul-based living is really all about staying present with what is happening with you physically, emotionally, psychologically, how you're experiencing the world around you. It's so important to make sure that you are staying in that moment. And really, as far as conscious evolution goes, by very definition, consciousness means that you are staying in the moment. You're staying very present so that you can learn whatever it is that you're supposed to learn and move through the essence of whatever that moment is trying to tell you, teach you, give you information about, all of that. So, you don't have to raft the Grand Canyon in order to learn how to be present, but it's really important for you to think about, am I staying present through the day? Now, I know people who cannot go without having a TV on. And they need noise around them all the time. So whether it's a TV or a radio or a podcast or something that is like playing all the time. But oftentimes I encourage, especially clients, to turn all of that off and listen to their own selves, listen to their own soul, listen to that essence of who you are, because it is so informative and so instructive in what it is that we need in every moment. And my last client yesterday was asking me, how do I get more in touch with my soul? How do I really tune into that part of me? And I really kind of walked her through this process that it's really like getting to know a new friend. You have to stay present with yourself to get to know yourself, to get to know what your habits and routines and glitches and foibles and all those kinds of things are about you that make you human, but then also help you understand that that is really, making friends with yourself is how you get to know your soul. And my favorite quote from my book is, to know your soul is to know true health. Well, and if we are not staying present, if we are piled up in the human condition, or if we are busying ourselves too much, so being too tasky or being too controlling about how our life goes, we're not going to get to that soul-based living place. I say this over and over again, that the soul's most natural state is joy and contentment. But if you think about everything we do in the human condition and how much of our experience of life is not about staying true to ourselves, not staying in tune with ourselves, we have to realize that there's a lot that's trying to misalign us. There's a lot that gets us off of our center. But if we stay present, if we stay very focused on who we are from the inside out, then we can evolve. We can get through the toughest of times. We can get through the most distracting of situations, and we can stay in that space of presence. But we forget to do that. So I have a few tips here. I call it saturating yourself in the moment. So in other words, instead of just moving through a moment, see if you can saturate yourself in the moment, immerse yourself in that moment, see what you're feeling, experiencing, hearing, touching, tasting, and just saturate yourself in that moment to see how much different life is. Life becomes so much richer when you can saturate yourself in a moment in order to glean whatever it is that you're supposed to from that very moment. We go through our day without really experiencing the day, and then we wonder where time has gone. But soul-based living is about really gleaning all of these experiences and gleaning whatever we can from every moment. Every moment. And I say this over and over again, every moment has something to give to us. Number two, decrease your TV time. There's so much mindless TV out there, and I don't watch a lot of TV. I don't have noise on around a lot of times because I just need to be, number one, airing myself out from a lot of the riffraff and a lot of the static that goes on. But noise keeps me from being present. So a lot of times I don't have a TV on. A lot of times I don't have a radio on. Even if I'm cleaning, a lot of times it's one of two things. I'm either blasting show tunes because I love soundtracks from movies and musicals, but that helps me immerse myself back into those musicals or movies. So that presentness is different in that way. But a lot of times I need silence. A lot of times I'd rather have the silence kind of inform me. And then when a hawk cries or a bird chirps or I hear a truck moving by or something, then I can go move in and out of every moment to experience, again, every single moment of that to see what I'm supposed to glean. Uh, Decreasing your taskiness. Now, there are a lot of people who make lists and, to-do lists, and I have not made to-do lists for years. I know that can sound very foreign because of the fact that, how the heck do people get things done? I will make reminders, but I will not make to-do lists. So it's one of those things where it may sound like I'm still making to-do lists. When I'm working with someone that needs something urgently, yeah, I will set a little reminder and then I rip that up, I put it away. But I do not make exhaustive lists of what I need to do because that's not about staying present in the moment. It's not about reminding myself that, wow, I need to embrace every second of the day. It's more about getting tasky. And so trying your best to eliminate or minimize those task lists can be very, very helpful so that you don't overwhelm yourself to the point where you cannot stay present in the moment. Number five is really noticing, just noticing the world, noticing what's happening around you. Right now there's a hummingbird on the feeder that is on my window. And in my peripheral vision, I am noticing that thing. It's a beautiful female. She has a very long neck. I named her Lily. So she's been coming for about 3 years. And so just stopping, pausing to be very experiential in each moment. Like I said, if a leaf is blowing, watch the leaf blow. If your dog is making a sound or playing, which my dogs play a lot, just pause long enough to immerse yourself in that moment. So notice the things around you to create that sense of presence. Even in the most uncomfortable situations or conversations, if you can breathe into the moment and stay present, you will get through it much better. And you will stay in that grounded, soulful, profound place so that you can get through the moment and basically stay very true to yourself and very present as well. So presence is really about the art of soul-based living. It's all about staying in that space. And, I talk about the soul all the time because we have forgotten it. We have forgotten to acknowledge the most important part of us. And that most important part of us is screaming half the time for us to be aware of it. So whether it's that gut reaction, whether it's that sense of regret, whether it's that whole nudging of, oh, you should do this or you shouldn't do this. It's that whole, we have forgotten the most important part of us. And those of us who work on really embracing and living in the soul, life is easier. And that's the whole point of me teaching any of this stuff, is to make your life easier. So all of these little tips may sound like, oh, I can't turn off the TV, I can't turn off the radio, but really looking at what are you resisting, and really reconnecting with your soul, because everybody's life would be better, this world would be better, if everybody was connected with their soul. I'm convinced that that's the biggest problem in this world, is that so many people are disconnected, that they are not living through this soul-based living. So I just want to give you tips and give you reminders, and give you these shortcuts to being able to be in that space of presence and soul-based living. So it takes you further. It takes you to that place where you know that it's beyond mindfulness. It's beyond mindfulness is a beautiful, beautiful concept, but it's beyond mindfulness. Consciousness goes beyond mindfulness, in that consciousness helps us learn. Consciousness helps take us to the next moment. Whereas mindfulness is about being present in the moment, which is wonderful. But we have to be present in order to evolve. We have to be present in order to take the next steps in our evolution or in our healing. And so that presence is such an important piece. So our souls are screaming for us to be more present. And this is just a way for, me to remind you on a sunny day, hopefully in your neck of the woods, it's sunny, a sunny day, to just be present, to just be very intensely saturated in the moment with yourself as much as you can. So I hope you have a wonderful day. Again, just a little nudge more about presence, and this theme will continue throughout this month. Have a good day. Bye-bye.